let's talk about money, but probably not in the way you're used to. For a minute, let's just forget all the complicated formulas, the market jargon, all of it. Because today, we're diving into this idea that the real key to financial freedom isn't hiding in your calculator, it's actually all in your head. So let me just ask you this straight up. Have you ever felt like you had to be some kind of math genius or a Wall Street wizard just to get ahead financially? I mean, that's the story we're often told, right? But what if that's not really the full picture? What if the answer is actually a lot more personal and, well, a lot more human? And this quote right here, this is our starting point. The financial expert Dave Ramsey absolutely nailed it. He said, getting good with money is only 20% knowing stuff. The other 80%, and that is a huge chunk, is just your behavior. I mean, think about that for a second. How you act with money matters 4 times more than how much you know about it. That's pretty wild. So if we know the behavior is the real key, let's break down 3 common financial lifestyles. And this isn't just about what's in your bank account, It's about the deep down story you tell yourself about money. So as I go through these, just see if one of them sounds a little too familiar. Okay, so you can see these 3 mindsets laid out. First up, you've got the borrower. This is that credit card mentality, Live for today, worry about it tomorrow. A total house of cards. Then there's the consumer, which is all about that paycheck mentality. Their whole world revolves around one question. Can I swing the monthly payment? But then you have the keeper. And their mindset, the net worth mentality, totally changes the game. It's not about spending, it's about building. And this slide really shows the huge shift in thinking. See, the paycheck mindset is all about, how much did I make this month? Success is just a bigger salary. But the net worth mindset, it asks a totally different question. How much did I keep and how much did I grow? Suddenly money isn't just for spending anymore. It's a seed you plant to grow your future freedom. It's the difference between running on a hamster wheel and actually building something that lasts. And here it is, the core habit of every keeper. They pay themselves first. I mean first. Before the rent gets paid, before the phone bill, before a single coffee, a piece of their income gets automatically set aside for their future. For them, saving and investing isn't some leftover afterthought. No, it's the very first, most important bill they pay every single month. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, doesn't it? But what happens when you're in the real world, maybe staring down a mountain of debt? Well, this is where you can really see the power of psychology in action. And spoiler alert, it's often way more powerful than a spreadsheet. So when you're ready to get out of debt, you basically have 2 main strategies. There's the debt avalanche, which is the pure math way. Your calculator would tell you to attack the debt with the highest interest rate first because it saves you the most money. But then there's the debt snowball. This is the behavior way. You actually ignore the math and you go after the smallest debt first. Now, I know it sounds kind of backwards, but there is a brilliant psychological reason it works so well. And here's the secret sauce. Studies show that when you pay off a debt, any debt, no matter how tiny, your brain registers it as a win. And that win gives you this incredible shot of motivation. It builds momentum. It's that feeling of progress, that quick win that keeps you fired up long enough to take on the really big debts. You're basically hacking your own brain to stay in the fight.
The process itself is beautifully simple. First, you just list out all your debts, from the smallest balance to the largest. Then you throw every single extra penny you can find at that smallest one until it's gone. Poof! And once it's paid off, you take all the money you were paying on it and you roll it right on to the next smallest debt. That payment of yours just keeps growing, like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and faster until it's an unstoppable force that just crushes everything in its path. Getting out of debt is a massive, massive win for your behavior. But building wealth for the long haul, well, that means you have to face an even trickier opponent, your own emotions.
This classic line from the old comic strip Pogo just says it all, doesn't it? When it comes to investing, your biggest enemy isn't a bad stock market. It's not the economy. It's the person you see in the mirror every morning. It's us. And our brains are just wired with these little traps. Greed makes us chase that hot stock that everyone's talking about, usually right before it crashes. Fear makes us sell everything in a panic the second the market dips, locking in our losses for good. We follow the herd, buying high and selling low. Or we just get so overwhelmed we do nothing at all. See, these aren't really financial mistakes, they're emotional ones. And let's be honest, the 24/7 financial news cycle makes this so much worse. Their job is to get you excited, to create a sense of urgency and drama to keep you glued to the screen.
But the real truth about smart, successful, long-term investing? It's kind of boring. In fact, you've got Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, who famously said that sound investing should be about as exciting as watching grass grow. He argues that a lot of the time, the absolute smartest thing an investor can do is nothing at all. Just sit on your hands. It's slow, it's steady, and over time it just works.
So the ultimate defense against our own emotional roller coaster is having a plan and actually trusting it. It's a philosophy called staying the course. You create a simple, sound investment strategy, and then, and this is the really hard part, you just leave it alone. You don't let fear trick you into selling low, and you don't let greed talk you into buying high. You just stay the course.
All right, so we've covered mindset, we've talked about debt, we've tackled emotions. Now let's bring it all together and map out a clear path to becoming a keeper, starting right now. The whole journey really kicks off with these 3 foundational moves. First, you've got to change the way you keep score. Stop focusing on your salary and start focusing on your net worth. Second, use that psychological trick of the debt snowball to get free from that crushing high-interest debt. And third, build yourself a safety net, a cash cushion, so the next flat tire doesn't send you right back to square one. And really, this is the big takeaway from all of this. Real, lasting financial freedom isn't some big, flashy event like winning the lottery or picking one perfect stock. It's forged in the small, consistent, and, yeah, often boring habits that you repeat day after day, year after year. It's not about being a genius. It's just about being disciplined. So I want to leave you with a question. A challenge, really. Forget about the 5-year plan for just a second. What is one small, tiny victory you can claim this week? What's the one positive financial behavior you can start? What's that first tiny snowball you can get rolling down the hill? Because that, right there, is where real change always begins.